Oh yeah. Welcome into the late night MoY Ploy. I'm your host, Jake the gluten-free Karis, and I am joined tonight by my sexy co-host, Raymond the Rat Mertz Squirts. What's up,
Still the
buddy?
worst part of the name. Still the worst part.
You don't like the rat squirts?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, man. How you been, dude?
It's been a day, but we're here. We're on to the next week.
Yeah, I was actually going to make a paper bag to wear over my head for this episode, but I felt like that might affect the sound quality and make this even more unwatchable than it actually is. I shouldn't say than it even is. All right, enough of small talk. Let's get straight into it and get this over with. I want to go to bed. I'm sick of talking about this stupid league. All right, week 5 recap. I got spanked by Eddie in what has to be his best performance of the year by almost double. Yeah, it's about double his week 4 performance, about double his week 3 performance. Not quite double his week 2. And yeah, he hasn't broken 150 yet. And then against me, 211. Cool. Fantasy football is fun.
Got to work on that defense.
Oh my god, kill me now. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. All right, Todd Harris falls to, or Hawk Tua, Todd Harris falls to Zach Warner. Very limp effort by Todd Harris there with the 122. Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold, not a single touchdown between the two of them. That's rough. And yeah, it's just kind of all bad. And then we have another massive point explosion, our second 200 burger of the week. This one was against even more points against an even more hapless opponent. Brett Fitzgerald explodes all over Brent Van Conyu. Brent is still cleaning himself off. We have got just I mean DJ Moore 2 touchdowns, Joe Burrow in 5 touchdowns, T Higgins 2 touchdowns, George Kittle a touchdown. The only people who didn't have a touchdown, and this includes his defense, was Tank Dell. Should call him Stank Dell because he's been terrible this year. And I think Jordan Mason. Those were the only 2 players that he had that didn't have a touchdown. That's rough, Brent. Sorry about that. And finally, we had the Battle of the 4-0s. Raymond Rat squirts. Mertz comes out of that one with a score that would have lost in literally any other matchup. So, congrats on your hollow victory there, Raymond, and for knocking off the final undefeated manager. All right. I'm sick of talking about you lucky bastards while I get to fight everyone on their best week.
Hey, I would have beat a couple of teams.
Sure, but not won the matchup. If I put you into my matchup, you lose to Eddie. If I put you into Todd's matchup, you lose to Z Warren. Oh wait, no, sorry, you got the bonus points to edge over Z Warren by 1. See that bonus point? The riddle does matter. You would have
I'm
beaten
done.
Zach by 1 point.
See?
Yes, okay, you would have won one matchup there. My bad, my bad. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, and we're going to talk about the Week 6 upcoming matchup. All right. First things first, you've got myself versus Brett Tet Tet. Pretty big and important showdown. Very evenly matched right now. Brett's team has been rolling. He's getting way too much production out of backup running backs Jordan Mason and Chuba Hubbard. Way too much production out of DJ Moore. Way too much production out of Wandale Robinson. Like, for a team that's as injured as Brett is, I gotta say, Brett has done an amazing job managing his team this year. Hats off to you, Brett. MoY voters, take note. of this man right here. He is killing it. But yeah, this is an extremely important matchup for me because if I'm 1-5, I very much feel like I have to win out if I'm going to have a chance. Um,
Yeah.
this next matchup, Ray, you and or Peter and my dad. That's another interesting one. You want to talk about the implications for this one here?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, I think if Peter can beat Todd, it puts Todd in a tight spot, and especially if you can actually pull off the win and kind of close that gap a little bit. Todd's, I think he's what lost 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, he's on. He's
So
got
I
the
mean,
biggest. I think he's got. Does he have the biggest losing streak in the league right now? Oh well, I'm on the non-mobile version, so it doesn't show you.
yeah,
It's, it's so dumb that they're so different, and that the the app is just so much better than the website. Anyways,
yeah,
yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Two powerhouse teams. This feels like a really important game for my dad here. He needs this win to keep me from starting to breathe down his neck. Because if I pick up a win and he gets a loss, then I'm only one game back, and
yeah,
I could jump him on any given week. So yeah, important game for my dad here. This is for all the marbles between Eddie and Brent. And when I say all the marbles, I mean like I guess the last marble in the bowl, because whoever does not win this game, season is likely over. Would you agree?
yeah. It's, but I mean, look at the projected scores. I think Brent's like 113, and it's not a
Well,
pretty looking
he's
matchup.
he's still got two guys on bye week in his
Oh,
lineup.
that's true. He does
He
have,
hasn't set that.
but
And honestly, it's good because now you won't have to start those Dolphins wide receivers anymore. He will be released from that. But it does look like Brent may have given up on his season already because he needed to make some roster moves to fill his starting lineup, and he has not. So he needs two wide receivers so he can move Amari Cooper up. He basically needs to fill two flex positions.
yeah, as I say, it's
And
like,
he's got Tony Pollard, and like maybe he's gonna flex Dallas Goedert for 30 points again. That was cool when that happened to me.
yeah.
Fucking fantasy football, dude. Get me out of here. All right, last matchup we've got Raymond Rat Squirt Smirts. We are the champions versus Team Z Warner. Very tight matchup here. This one is, I guess, it's important for Zach in the same way that it's important for Dad. In that if I end up getting a win here and Z Warren loses, I am then breathing down his neck, looking at trying to surpass him to get a playoff spot. So that's the week 6 matchups. Ray, it's time to play a little bit of pick'em here.
All
So
right.
let's go ahead and see how we did last week. In week 5, you took me, I took me. Well, shit. We both take Yale on that one. I'm going to stop voting for myself because that's the only time I've won a game this season was when I didn't vote for me and pick 'em.
It's
Maybe
fair.
there's something to it. We got Todd versus Z Warren. You took Zach. I took Todd. Looked like you got the win on that one yet again to pull your. I'm like getting fucking obliterated in pick 'em. I've gotten 2 right all year. All right, in Brett versus Brent, we both took Brett. All right, that's the dub for me. And then in the Ray versus Peter, you took Peter, I took you, and I do believe I got a win there over you as well. So that puts me up to 4-8. Yahoo! And Ray, I think that puts you at what'd you go? You
I
got
think
2
two and
right
two.
that week. Yeah, so you went 2-2 that week. So that puts you at 7-5. All right, week 6 pick'em. You ready, buddy?
I Ready as I'm ever gonna be.
That makes sense. All right, so first matchup you've got Gluten Freak versus Eddie. Who are you going to take? Sorry,
Uh,
that's week 5. We're looking at week 6,
I,
like I said. Me versus Brett. Who are you gonna have?
I think you turn it around this week. I'm gonna go with you.
Thank you. I'm going Brett. No hesitation. Fuck this game. All right. Next up, we've got. Let's see. Who's in the next spot? Peter versus Todd. Who you got here?
I think I'm gonna go with Peter. I think his team's pretty good. Todd's team's kind of been his quarterbacks are looking really rough right now. I'm pretty sure he picked up Daniel Jones today.
Yep, yep. Now, what some viewers at home might not remember is that there is very much a alpha beta mentality that goes on in this particular matchup right here. In that one time Peter decided he was going to lip off to my dad. My dad smacked him so hard with his Alpha Omega ring that it left an imprint of the Alpha Omega symbol on Peter's forehead, which rumor has it is still there to this day. Now, my pick, man, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say my dad.
I
I
was gonna
I
say
I, I need to
Peter's got
catch
some
up
bye
here.
weeks.
Yeah, he's got a lot of bye weeks. I need to catch up as well, so I gotta get some. I gotta get lucky at some point. All right, Eddie versus Brent. Who you got here in the battle of the basement?
I think I'm gonna go with Eddie. Uh, Brent's top guys are like those top picks of the Dolphin wide receivers. They're out this week, even if they weren't really doing much. And like
Yeah,
you said, he's got some spots he needs to fill and hasn't yet. So
I think I'm gonna actually go with. I'm gonna go with Brent here for the simple fact that he no longer has to start Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And I'm a little superstitious. I'm not a lot stitious. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Jamar Chase doesn't have like I don't think I've ever seen him put up two monstrous games back to back. Like he's had a 29 bomb, then a 17, which is good, but still below his projection. Then he has a 41, so I'm expecting him to come back down to earth with like a teener game, double digits somewhere in there, but certainly no, probably not. I don't know. Jamar Chase has been a consistently inconsistent player, and he just had an explosion, so I feel like he's going to take a week off. So give me Brent. All right, last matchup we have got Raymond Rat Squirts Mertz versus Zach Warner. Who are you going to pick here, Raymond?
oh man, this is I think it'll be a really close one. I think I'm gonna go with myself here. Looks like Pittman might not be playing this week. He's doubtful, and I don't know if Adams will be back. And he's still got he's got quite a few guys there on bye. So I think I'm gonna go with myself on this one.
I'm going to go with you too. Pretty much his entire bench is injured or Kyle Pitts. Um, so, like, he's going to be scrounging the waiver wire to replace guys like Pittman and, um, like Brian Robinson's dinged up, Joe Mixon's dinged up, Jackson Smith and Jigba hasn't been, he's been fine, but not awesome.
Yeah,
You know, Brees Hall's been ass. That said, I feel like Brees Hall is due, you know, for some crazy monster game. But anywho, yeah, I guess that game script, the New Jersey Buffalo game script, if the New Jersey Jets get a little bit ahead of Buffalo, so they run Brees Hall more, Josh Allen has to pass more, that game script could work very heavily against you. That said, Jets have been pretty bad, and they just fired head coach. I guess teams tend to play really, really well the week after they fire their head coach.
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
I
see if
feel like the head coach was not the problem in New York, personally.
yeah.
So
We'll see if
I
I don't
don't think
think
the
Aaron
players are going to
Rodgers
be
will.
play. Yeah, I don't think the players are going to be playing inspired because of the
No.
firing of Robert Sala.
No, I think
All
Aaron
right.
Rodgers is not going to let them run the ball a bunch either.
No, I gotta imagine that you are right. All right, Raymond, let's talk about the standings here, and we are going to break down a bit of um, the playoff position. Sorry, I'm trying to again make zoom out just one bit. All right, let's talk a little bit about the playoff picture here, Raymond. There we go. Why don't you break down kind of how the standings are looking right now, and who you think like has a realistic chance of missing or making the playoffs?
Yeah, so I think looking at it right now, obviously me and Peter being 4-1, that's we put ourselves in a strong position for playoffs. Um, we got to keep it up because obviously you can fall off pretty fast. Uh, and then we have three teams, 3-2, and um, not and your dad not putting up a ton of points, and a team like yours who's gotten super unlucky. I think you could easily sneak back in really quickly if you just get a couple of weeks where you're not playing the top scoring team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're
That's never going to happen.
you can be hopeful, right?
No, no, hope has long been extinguished, my friend. Uh,
But yeah, I think Brett and Zach have also put themselves in pretty solid positions, especially with the amount of points they're scoring. Um, I think again, I think Brett's got to keep making moves, got to keep because he's kind of struggling with his bench. But
hmm
if he keeps making good moves, like you said, I think MoY isn't out of the question there.
Yep, I think you're right. I gotta say, as far as guys on the panic bus, myself, Eddie, Brent, all three of us absolutely on the panic bus. Realistically speaking, I don't think Eddie is necessarily out of it.
No.
In that he's only about 50 points behind Zach. And so if he makes a run, he could catch Zach in points. He is right neck and neck with my dad in points. However, really who what he's chasing is Zach. Now, I'm ahead of all but three teams in points right now. So I really just need to get wins and have those other teams get a few losses, and then I can really start making a push. However, I don't know, man. It feels like it's just not my year. All right. So that's the playoff picture. Let's go ahead and move on to the final segment of the show, the Brett's team name riddle for an additional 2 points, which had a potential to actually make a difference and would have put Ray from losing to winning had he played Zorn. So this is important, folks. All right, this week's riddle. This week's riddle is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The riddle is Nichols. You're already thinking.
I'm
Nick
trying to come up
Nichols
with something.
plus fence equals only joking. Nichols
Yeah.
plus fence equals only joking. Nichols plus fence equals only joking. You have to guess which manager's team this is and the three players. For each correct answer that you get, the players in the team in the manager, not for each three individual players. You have to get all three players right to get the point. You can get 2 points, so 1 point per. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. Ray, you got anything that you want to tell these people?
No, I think that's all. But don't forget, we still have the call out rule. Nobody's used it yet, so
Yeah, I am
we're
gonna have to
still.
use it at some point soon just to dodge a bad matchup. And I'll probably end up jumping straight into the worst one of the week. So, whatever. I'm just gonna use it
Probably.
to try and I'm gonna use it to try and hunt that fourth place spot at some point. All
It's
right,
fair.
fellers, you guys have a good night. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you do, but we'll see y'all in the next one. Later.
Later.